So recently there has been a massive update to Hyperchromes. This change also changed how we can get Hyperchromes, but also disproved a lot of information that was previously present, and also added some questionable things. There hasn't been a better time to grind Hyperchromes than now, so let's get into it. First of all, the most apparent change is the pity counter. You can now see how close you are to getting a Hyperchrome from pity. It only shows when you're above 10% for a robbery, but this was needed since day one. You can now see how long it will take to get the Hyperchrome you are grinding for. This does kill a lot of excitement, but imagine doing thousands of robberies and getting nothing. All we had to go off was a single tweet from Asimo that maybe a pity counter did exist, but he wouldn't even tell us the odds, so we didn't even know if it was true or not. All we could do is rob and see how many stores it would take. And eventually you might get one. This update is very benefited to people who grind Hyperchromes. It's less about RNG and more about how close you are to pity. But this pity counter will tell us way more on how the Hyperchrome system works. We now learned that train is one of the hardest Hyperchromes. Why? Well, it turns out it has two different pities. Meaning the cargo train and passenger train has two different spins, and hitting the pity for each of them is a lot harder than you think. So if you don't get lucky, then good luck even getting a Hyperchrome from here. This is definitely one of the worst robberies for Hyperchromes. Well, unless you're lucky like me. The next thing we learned is that pity increases in big servers and decreases in small servers. This means you have a higher chance of getting Hyperchromes in bigger servers and lower chances in small servers. The chances are actually almost doubled. And your pity will decrease or increase depending on the player amount. So if you had 30% pity in a bigger server, it would be something like 20% in a smaller server. It's unclear if bigger servers or smaller servers are better. If you want to roll the dice, then go for bigger servers. But if you want to go for pity, then smaller servers are pretty much better. Because you have a lot more to rob, so you can transfer all that pity into a bigger server. We also learned that luck is very important for grinding Hyperchromes. As if that wasn't obvious enough. But it actually plays a big factor into leveling up your Hyperchromes. If you got a Hyperchrome from luck, then your pity is transferred over to the next Hyperchrome. If you got a Hyperchrome from pity, all those robberies will be gone and you have to start from zero on the next level. Another thing we learned is that all 8 robberies have the same pity as each other. This means that certain robberies are a lot rarer than others. They may have the same odds, but they are very different robberies. We used to think they were very different, but they actually have the same odds as each other. The last thing we got with the CEO robbery. This robbery always allowed you to upgrade your highest level Hyperchrome if you managed to land on it. It's basically a universal Hyperchrome that doubles your odds than normal. And if you can do it efficiently, that's doubling the robberies you do normally than it. It's like doing 2 spins from 1 robbery. This will be the meta for grinding higher level Hyperchromes. If you're low on pity, then this will probably help you a lot. This will probably be the new meta for Hypershift. A small thing to note is that every robbery now is a robbery bonus. So robbing cargo boat, donut shop, or gas station will give you a lot more money, but it won't drop Hyperchromes. Anyways, that's it. I hope this was very informative, as I was wrong on some parts of the Hyperchrome system before. Now we have a clear understanding of how the Hyperchrome system works. I'm thinking of finding all the pities for each Hyperchrome now. Anyways, let me know if you'd like to see it, and thanks for watching and subscribe.